Sandy says read. Welcome to the channel. Tonight we are going to be reviewing and discussing The Cassowary by James Sabat. I met him and I still don't know how to pronounce his name. James, sorry. First, we will have a word from our sponsor, which is me. I have released the book 365 Days to Create and Motivate Your Inner Writer. This is not a book, it's a workbook and journaling device for creatives out there. The reason this is important is because tonight's review, is going to be of a book that was stemmed from a creative writing process that was very cool. So, creative writing, if you're a creative, this book is for you. It's available on Amazon. Pick up your copy today. All right, now let's get down to business. We'll start with a headline from CNN, and this is a real headline. A cassowary, a rare emu-like bird, attacks and kills Florida man, officials say. This was back in 2019. Marvin Ajos, 75-year-old man, he was killed in his backyard by his cassowary. Yeah, it was his cassowary. He was breeding these things. Let's see. The owner was a breeder of the rare bird that is native to Australia and New Guinea. Oh, let's see. The bird's owner, who's 75, made the initial call to 911 Friday about 10 a.m. A second call came from another person at the scene who reported a medical emergency involving a large bird. Yeah, the cassowaries, they will mess you up. And in this horror novel by James Sabata, there you go, that's how, Sabata. I think in this horror novel, the cassowary messes up a lot of people. I've got some notes here, so let's dive into this review. The cassowary, the tagline is, "The world's most dangerous bird just got an upgrade." This is 159 pages, and it is a blood and guts creature horror novel. It is perfect for October and Halloween. I mean, if you want blood and guts, if you want fast-paced creature murdering people, this is perfect. I mean, this is for anyone who watches those B-movie creature features on the Sci-Fi Channel. This is perfect. Perfect. All right, let's see. It does hit the horror genre tropes that you want it to hit. All right, I put bullet points on here. You've got a group of stereotypical rednecks. They go hooting and hollering and spitting chewing tobacco through the novel. I'm not going to tell you what happens to them. I'm not going to spoil it, but you will be pleased. There's a head-spinning number of people who die, gruesome deaths in this book. It's almost humorous, right? I mean, what you expect. The guy wants the girl. The thing is, Caitlin, the gal who is central to that plot point, she's empowered, okay, and I'm pleased with Caitlin and her empowerment, and she's not falling for this guy just because he's there, and yeah, I'm pleased with Caitlin. The creature is enhanced by magic, and I don't think I'm giving away anything by saying that because you figure that out pretty early on in the book. I'm not going to tell you any more because I don't want to spoil things, but okay, it's a creature feature type horror novel, okay? And the cassowary is, the descriptions that James gives of this cassowary throughout the novel are very well done. This thing is big, evil, menacing, okay? It's very well done. I did have a little beef in here, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about it so that this review doesn't feel disingenuous. I'm going to go ahead and say that I wish that an editor had stepped in during production of the novel and just helped smooth a couple spots, because in some of the death scenes particularly, there were some inconsistencies that it just kind of took me out of the story, and I think I would have stayed in the story and just kept cruising right along if an editor could have fixed up a couple things where this guy's head is split in two, but then we're reading in the next sentence that his head is over here with a hat on it, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that if an editor had spotted those things and fixed that up, then this thing would have been smooth as butter, right? Okay. And in fact, speaking of smooth as butter, on page 65, James has a scene, a description that I want to read to you guys, because it's beautiful. I mean, his writing style could be just poetic in here, and I want to give you that example. Okay, Sergio Abalon waves to her from his Sidewinder rotary mower as he turned. Elena waved back. always amazed at the work that went into the art of striping the grass on the field. The line coming toward her was dark green. The one Sergio mowed as he moved away from her was lighter, the rollers laying the grass ever so slightly in a different direction, the same way the nap of velour changes with a hand stroke. Isn't that lovely? I mean, it's poetic. It's showing us what we're seeing on this stadium field before mayhem erupts and people die. But it's nice. I mean, it's a nice little break in the action, and it's poetically written. I liked it. I also liked this humor right here for the chapter headings, or above the chapter headings. It's called the pecking order. Yeah, nicely done. I liked that. All right, what else did we need to talk about in here? I've got notes. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention the way this thing came about. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I was really, I was pleased with the creative writing aspect of this because James is part of a Twitter group that is a horror writers Twitter group. And back during COVID, they challenged one another to work on this series of creature novels together. Each person who wanted to could pick an animal or creature and write a horror novel about it. And I love that. I love that they challenged each other to do that. I love that that a few of them took up the challenge. We hear Alan Baxter wrote The Roo, which was a kangaroo. Stephanie Rabig wrote Playing Possum. Let's see, Sean Seaback wrote The Buck Stops Here. And then, of course, James wrote The Cassowary. The proceeds from the Cassowary, let me make sure I get the right name here. The proceeds from the Cassowary benefit the Cassowary Recovery Team, and I like that too. That makes me happy. But the idea of that online group encouraging one another spoke to me. I like that a lot. Obviously, I support other authors, and I enjoy it when other authors work with one another and help one another through things. Back in 2006, 2007, back when Yahoo groups were popular, I was part of a group called The Writer's Life. And when I had returned from a very inspiring visit to meet with John Taylor of Duran Duran, woohoo! The group was giving each other a prompt to write a story. So I wrote, May Your Heart Be Light. It took me 13 days to write this. Yes, it was heavily edited afterward, but it took me 13 days to write this because I was so inspired by the trip and by the prompt from the group. And during my writing, the members of the group kept throwing more prompts back and forth at one another. It was a very encouraging and inspiring time. And I love it when online writers groups do that for one another. That's a great thing. And I am pleased that the Cassowary was a result of that kind of synergy and energy and creativeness. All right, that's it, I think, for... I don't think I have any other horror novels coming up to talk about in October. I don't typically read horror, so this was a change, something new and different for me. Everyone, subscribe to the channel and give this a thumbs up, right? Oh no, click the bell icon. Whatever you guys want to do, but if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified the next time I upload something, because it has become very random. Thanks so much, guys.